Hey everyone, welcome back to Exploring Spirituality. I'm Jenny, and today we're diving into something so many people experience during their spiritual awakening. Why you may feel like you have no friends. And have you ever noticed your social circle shrinking? Or maybe you're wondering why some people just don't seem to vibe with you anymore. So don't worry, this is actually a normal part of the awakening process. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why this happens, how to deal with the loneliness, and why it's actually a good sign that you're on the right path. So grab a cup of tea, sit back, and let's talk about the powerful but challenging phases of spiritual awakening. Spiritual awakening is like peeling back layers of who you thought you were to discover your true self. When you're on this path, you start questioning everything, your beliefs, your values, and even your relationships. You begin to vibrate at a higher frequency, and as your energy shifts, the people around you can feel it. So your soul is evolving, and while that's a beautiful thing, it can also be really uncomfortable. You might start to notice that some of your friends just don't resonate with you anymore. And it's like you're speaking two different languages, and no matter how much you try, the connection feels off. This is because there's something wrong with you or with them. You're simply growing apart. Your energies shift. So there's nothing wrong. So why do friendships fall apart during the spiritual awakening? There are a few reasons for this. First, many relationships we form early in life are based on shared interest, habits, and circumstances. Things like going to school together, partying, or even just mutual hobbies. But when you go through a spiritual awakening, you start craving deeper connections. You want to talk about purpose, meaning, the universe, and not everyone is ready for those conversations. And another reason is that your energy is becoming more sensitive, and you can feel when someone's energy is heavy or toxic. Maybe you used to tolerate negative conversations or gossip, but now it feels draining. So as you raise your vibration, lower energies just don't feel right anymore. So it's normal. It's not that you don't love the friends. It's a dynamic of those relationships no longer match your new frequency. And so think of it this way. Spiritual awakening is like tuning into a new radio station. Some people are still on the old frequency, and that's okay. But you can't force them to switch over. You can only keep moving forward on your journey from now on. And now let's talk about the loneliness. This can be one of the hardest parts. You feel like no one gets you, and the people you used to hang out with just aren't around anymore. And it's like the universe is pulling them away from you. This is where you have to trust the process. Loneliness during a spiritual awakening is not punishment. It's an invitation. The universe is giving you space to focus on you, to learn who you really are without the influence of others. This is your time to heal, to grow, and to discover your true self. During this phase, it's important to be gentle with yourself and know that it's okay to be you, alone for a while, and that your friends who are meant to stay in your life will stay, and new connections, soul-aligned connections, will come when the time is right. But first, you need to become comfortable with yourself. And now, how do you know when you're outgrowing friendships? Here are some signs to look for. First, you might feel drained after hanging out with certain people. It's like their energy is too heavy for you. You'll also notice that conversations with these people and friends don't light up your interest anymore, and maybe feel bored, or you just feel like you're not being seen or understood. Another sign is that you start to crave deeper, more meaningful interactions. And you want to talk about spirituality, growth, and self-awareness. But your friends might not be interested in those topics. So that's when you realize you're moving in a different direction. And that's okay. And so it's important to understand that this isn't about being better than anyone. It's just about being different stages of growth, and as you evolve, some people will naturally drift out of your life and make space for others who align with your journey. Now, so what do you do when you're feeling isolated? First, remember that solitude is part of the awakening. Use this time to get to know yourself better, meditate, journal, spend time in nature, connect with your own inner wisdom. Second, don't be afraid to seek out communities where people are on the same path. There are so many spiritual groups, both online and in person, where you can find people who understand what you're going through, and these are people who will support you in your growth. And lastly, have faith. The right people will come into your life when you are ready. You may not look at the past friends, but they may be completely different and share the same validations, new visions, and desire deeper connections like you. Spiritual awakening can feel like a lonely road, but it is also an incredibly rewarding one. And as you shed your old layers and make room for deeper connections, both with yourself and others, don't be discouraged if your friendships changed. Trust the universe is guiding you towards relationships that will nourish your soul. And thank you so much for watching today's episode for Exploring Spirituality. And if this resonates with you, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content on spiritual growth, healing, and awakening. Leave a comment down below and let's start a conversation. Have you experienced friendships falling apart during your spiritual awakening, and how did you handle it? Until next time, stay aligned, stay connected, and keep evolving. Much love to you all.